today with Derrick Sonoda of Hawaii Energy, and he's going to tell us a few things about energy conservation using different types of bulbs and equipment, and we're actually going to demonstrate for you how they actually conserve energy. So Derrick, tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Hawaii Energy and what Hawaii Energy does.
Well, Hawaii Energy helps people learn to conserve energy as well as become more efficient at it. And one of the key things are going to be lighting. In a home, so many homes have so many different kinds of fixtures. And what everybody kind of doesn't realize really is everybody goes to the spiral. But in the spiral, this is made for just one type of fixture. All of these other shapes over here, they're for different types of fixtures. We have this type of shape that is going to be used for very heavy desk lamps where you have the old fabric on it. You need a lot of light to punch out of that old fabric. You'll see a lot of that kind of things maybe at grandma's house where the material is, really thick and maybe a little dusty and kind of yellow. You need those. This is going to be for the spotlights. You're going to have some of this in the Mililani Mauka homes and some of the Everplanes where they go up in the ceiling and they punch down. Perfect for this. This type of lighting here is going to be for the desk lamps and also some fixtures. That's really good. Over here, you're going to see this for wall sconces. It throws really nice light. Now for the fixtures that you can actually see the lamp or the light bulb, we might want to suggest this. And this one actually looks like an old-fashioned light bulb right here. So if you notice the shape, this is the old one made by Thomas Edison. We still love this from the 18th century. And we have the new version of this. It's very similar. So when you have this in a ceiling fan or you have this in an exposed fixture, this one looks nicer and works very similar. In the bathroom, so many people put the spirals in the bathroom, but if you look at some of these spirals, and I don't know if the camera can pick this up, on these lamps there's air holes, and what the air holes does is let the heat out. But when you're in a bathroom situation, it lets the moisture in. So people go, oh, those spirals don't work so well in the bathroom. It just depends on your bathroom. A lot of moisture, a lot of steam. I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend a CFL, an energy saving bulb, that's encapsulated like this, where the moisture can't get in it, it'll fight better. So if you have one of those vanity lights that we see all over the Everplanes, just tons of vanity where you got 4 light bulbs, there is actually a round one that looks just like that and just goes right up in there. It works well. Also, if your home has dimmable lamps, please look for the ones that say dimmable right on it. Yeah, if it doesn't say dimmable, it's not going to dim. So what happens is a lot of people try and put a non-dimmable CFL in a dimmable circuit, and what you actually do is you burn out your light. Most people, and I'm guilty of this, is when you have the dimming circuit, you don't dim it and go off. You dim it till it's just weak, but you're still sending some power through it. And this bulb, the old-fashioned one, nothing. You're still burning power, still taking money from your account. You don't know it, but you have no light. These guys over here, the non-dimmable, they try to ignite, they try to light up with very little power. And what happens is the little ballast in here burns itself up. So it dies early, people think it's junk, doesn't work. The truth is, we didn't pick the right one. So, look for the dimmable ones. And also, people always ask 3-way. There are 3-way, but it has to say 3-way. Ceiling fans, it actually says ceiling fans on these CFLs, so look for those. There's so many little things that people just don't realize because they go to the go-to bulb, which is going to be the curlicue.
Great. What about this here? This one looks interesting. Looks like a big tube of something.
Yeah, that's an induction lamp. It's made for commercial use, and what an induction lamp is a phosphorescent lamp, but it lights up by using radio wave technologies. It's actually been around for a long time. The thing about this particular lamp is it never burns out.
Never burns out.
Never burns out. It's rated for about 100,000 hours. What you do have to do is make sure that you take care of the driver for this. The driver of the generator generates light using radio waves. It works really well. In this particular building where we are, downtown Honolulu, we actually have the whole parking lot lit up by induction lamps.
So you could use it for office buildings, condos, or just very large spaces then?
Even shopping centers. So one of the major malls on Oahu, you have induction lamps and you guys have been under it for years.
Wow.
So we got a lot of great things.
Great.
We do have some demonstration things that we do. We do this for education and try and teach people how simple it is to get energy savings. If you could step this way.
Sure.
I want to show you this is a hand crank generator. So this is kind of hard to show on TV. So everybody kind of just got to feel this going. Watch the pain on his face. So what we do is we have an old-fashioned light bulb and we have a new one. Where first, he's going to crank this and he's going to be the generator. He's going to simulate what happens at the power generator burning oil. Please.
Okay.
He's going to try and turn
it with
this.
one hand?
One hand, try with two hands. Keep going. Keep going. Faster.
Whoa.
Gotta hold the table. Faster, faster. Okay, there you go. You're getting enough light out of that thing.
Right now.
And is it heavy?
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
This is a workout.
Now we're gonna stop. Now let's try the new style of light bulb, the energy saving ones, and go from here. Keep going. Oh, now he's just showing off. What's here is the new style of light bulb.
This is easy.
Takes less load or makes less load on the generators, so we burn less fuel to light up these. So multiply this by all the homes who still have the old-fashioned light bulbs and they're burning oil for no reason. They just didn't convert them. And maybe they just didn't know about all of these guys. Now, so many people ask about, well, how come you don't promote LEDs? We do promote LEDs. It is available. They're just on the more expensive side. These bulbs that we show here are going to be under the $10 range. Just depends. The specialty bulbs, these bulbs and over here, these will range for about $2 or $3 a bulb. These guys over here could go up about $7 or $9 a bulb, just depending on what you need. The dimmables, a little over $10, but the LEDs are all going to be in the ranges of $19 to $45 to $60, just depending on the shape and how much light comes out of it.
What about the watts on these two bulbs?
The watts on these two right here?
Yeah.
This is going to be equivalent to about I think this one was 75, and this one is enough light to match a 75. These two right here, if we can switch on to this side, this is your old-fashioned light bulb, a 100-watt light bulb. And if you can see that meter, now this meter has been adjusted so it spins a little faster than the residential meter, but it's here for demonstration purposes. You see that dial going round and round? This is an old light bulb. It's more of a heater than it is a light bulb. So we're going to switch this to an energy saving CFL. You're going to notice the light output. In fact, this is a little bit brighter, but you're going to see that dial slow down. Now, most people have more than one light bulb in a house. So just imagine about how much power you're using just to light your home. So this is a great way of demonstrating energy savings just via a light bulb.
It did slow down.
Now, a lot of people say 26 watts is too much light now. So they can drop this down to a 23, even a 20 watt. A lot of people have dropped to a 20 watt, and the energy savings is even greater. One of the things that I want to kind of put this out there is, some people have said, how come they don't make a 150 watt, a 200, and a 150 watt light bulb? And I ask, well, what do you do with that light bulb? And they always kind of tell me, well, I put this where I read, then I can see that because I just need more light. What they're actually trying to say is they need a different color of light. So the ones that we grew up with that I can't touch because it's really hot, is very yellow. Under this light, our eyes kind of relax, and it's more for not task-oriented work. So we want to switch over to a whiter, bluer light. And it's going to be, on the label it says daylight. So when you look for one of this one says like soft white on it, and these all have a color of light. You want to do more of a daylight. Unfortunately, some people say, oh, I don't like that, it's too bright, it's too white, it's too blue. Only put it where you're going to read. And you're going to notice that you don't need a 150 watt light. You can now come down to these ranges, and your eyes can use that better to read your newspapers, to read your books. It works really well.
Good. If businesses use this, how much do you think they could save in terms of electricity? Do you have any kind of range or any kind of figures that you could say?
This is how impactful this particular, just going from here, 100 to this. In a residence, we know on average it's about 2.5 hours per day they will use a light. And why we say that is sometimes we go out for parties, some people stay up later, some people go sleep. It's a range of 2.5 hours. To change this light bulb, I believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood about $27 right now, $26 to change depending on the island that you're on. Yeah, Oahu has the lowest rates. So we're going to see the least amount of savings compared to the neighbor islands, where Molokai is approaching 50 cents for residential rate. They're going to see a lot more energy savings. Now that's 2.5 hours. You asked me about businesses. With businesses, and this can range from a condominium complex to a restaurant. For a restaurant, you're going to look at situations where the lights are on 12 hours. Right. You're going to look at a condominium where the outside lights lighting the hallway so you can see at night. Those are going to be 12 hours or 16 hours, just depending on the angle of the sun for that building. So you're going to multiply all of that savings. It's tremendous just changing a light bulb. Now, I've gone around the islands and I looked all over the place. Most condominiums have switched out because it just makes sense. A lot of restaurants, though, have still the old-fashioned light bulbs because they want a certain ambiance. They want that certain look. what I would suggest is you go ahead and you take a look again, because technology is available all different kinds of ways. Plus there's LEDs. So as people go, why don't you just promote LEDs? Again, it goes back to the cost. But one of the other things that I wanted you to kind of know about LEDs is, if this bulb here is rated at, let's say this one's a 26 watt, and this is a 100 watt equivalent, yeah, you're gonna have to go into the teens, kind of like about an 18 watt light bulb, and they don't make an LED that bright in this kind of shape yet, to get the same kind of light output of it. So what happens there is, you don't get the same distribution. It gets really close, so you're gonna have to drop down the wattage to probably about a 60 watt equivalent, and you can get there with an LED. But if your home has already had all these years energy saving lights, and thank you, I appreciate that, the savings from here to an LED, you're only gonna be talking about 10 watt savings, or maybe less,
Okay.
just depending on that.
Could you tell us then that in terms of the interest and the mandate to reduce the amount of imported oil, how much benefit, how much influence does using this type of equipment have? I mean, what will have to happen for Hawaii to reduce its consumption of imported oil?
One of the things that we try and educate people about is, it's not just electricity. So all the things that you see here is all about electricity. What we've been trying to teach people is, everything that we do in Hawaii burns oil. Like, you came to visit me today, and you came up an elevator, you came up an escalator, you used oil. You drove a car to get to me, you used oil. You prepared yourself, you got ready for the day, you brushed your teeth, you did all those activities, you ran the water, burned oil. You may have used the bathroom, flushed the toilet, you're burning oil. All of that, sewage treatment, everything you've done burns oil. Then people go, oh, don't worry, you know, I put photovoltaics up, I'm good, my house is taken care of. You still gotta take mom, grandma, aunties, uncles to the doctor sometimes. Doctors use oil, accidents happen, you gotta take an MRI, a CAT scan, those are all energy intensive. All of those activities that we have are energy related. People go, oh, but you know, but I'm doing all you can. But everything that we depend on, like medical insurance, they use electricity to do their operations. We depend on a whole bunch of services for our life.
All right. Can you give us an idea of how many people or what percentage of the residents and businesses are actually using this type of equipment right now? And how much more have to understand it?
Let's take the businesses. Most of the large businesses, and I want to equate what a large business is a combination of energy use that we look at it. So if you're looking at the resorts, the hotels, most of the major ones are very, very energy efficient. State of Hawaii businesses and buildings and everything else, they are becoming extremely energy efficient. They're trying to push their envelope there. But where we're not reaching yet, in my opinion, is going to be the small business and the medium-sized business. And what that looks like to people is going to be the shave ice stands, the barber shops.
Will they be concerned about the cost that they would have to put out to buy these?
Most definitely. And small business guys have it rough right now. They don't know how the economy is going to jump. Day to day, we have different news announcements, so yes. They are usually leasing their property or renting their property, and they don't want to invest in something that they don't know that they're going to be here next year, or even 6 months from now. So one of the obstacles for them is investing into an energy-saving technology when they don't know they'll be around. So what we do is we have a small business program now. We're just launching it here. We tried this in Molokai, but probably a lot of people don't know, but we went out to Molokai. We did lighting retrofits for them. We paid 100% of the cost. So about 96 businesses in Molokai were able to get a lighting retrofit for linear fluorescent lights. Those are the tube ones. And they got their whole lighting retrofit. We learned quite a bit. There was an obstacle of trust. But we're Hawaii Energy. Once they get to know who we are, and they find out that we really are an entity and we're not going to sell them something, what we do is we promote energy savings and changing of behaviors. We're launching this for a small business program. The small business program is going to look just like what I just said. The barber shops, the beauty salons, the ice cream place, the shave ice stands, all of those guys, the hobby stores. I go to a couple hobby stores around Oahu, and they all could use a lighting retrofit. So we're going to go and step up, and if they meet the qualifications, Hawaii Energy will pay 100% of the cost to do the lighting retrofit. They're going to have to sign up to a participating contractor, and they'll do all the paperwork and get that done. So it's a great program. That's the obstacle.
Okay, very good. Derrick's going to tell us about operating refrigerators. Businesses run refrigerators, residences run refrigerators. Every facility has a refrigerator. Here's some statistics that you probably should know about. To run a refrigerator on Oahu, one that's 20 years or older, it costs $380 a year. If you're on Maui, it costs $420 a year. Hawaii Island, $490, and on Molokai and Lanai, you're paying $555 a year to run a refrigerator that's 20 years or older. So Derrick's going to give us some ideas about this.
One of the things that we learned doing our program is we are in love with refrigerators. One of the oldest refrigerators that we found were over 50 years old on the island of Big Island. So what we did is we came up with a new program for residential. If you were to call Hawaii Energy up and you just call our number up, we will arrange a pickup. So grandmas and aunties, you don't have to bother any of the boys in the family or anybody else to help you. You call us up, we'll send a truck out there. We will go ahead and have this picked up and properly recycled. If you're on the island of Oahu, you get a $25 rebate. If you're on the neighbor islands, you get a $65 rebate for doing the right thing. So just get this off. Now, here's what we do. Lifestyle. At work, not enough refrigerators. So we take our old refrigerators and we send it to work. And I see this everywhere, everywhere, from schools to office buildings, everywhere. They have an old hand-me-down ones. And then just because we're so generous and we want our friends to have a good thing, is we give out of our hearts, and this is purely because we just didn't know, we give this old refrigerator to our next door neighbor. Or
you're increasing their electrical bill.
Because they couldn't buy this, they couldn't afford to do this, but what we just don't know, what we just did is, we just gave them a bigger electricity bill that they're gonna have for years to come. So we just want people to get this off. You don't have to have the 2, 3 ones and everything else. Prices of electricity are so high now that we just gotta stop and take a look at it. Is it worthwhile to have this here? A new refrigerator for an Energy Star, entry level kind of size that a lot of people buy, it's only about $600. The cost that you just heard him say is going to be about $555 on Molokai and they could have a new, brand new one, all the gaskets clean, everything else, and the energy use drops down into the $200 range for the whole year.
Instead of paying $555 on Molokai and Lanai, you could buy a refrigerator and then just pay about $200 a year.
There you go.
For the refrigeration.
There you go. So please help us out, get these off of the grid. We don't sell them, we do recycle them, and we just take them away. Awesome.
Okay, very good. The cost of business in Hawaii, we always hear about that. And we understand that the cost of businesses are probably higher here than the mainland. What kind of rebates do you have for equipment for businesses?
You know, we offer the whole gamut for business, and it's going to be dependent on the size of business. So we do, of course, all lighting. There's all kinds of energy efficient lighting. Then from there, we offer motors, whether they're going to be for refrigeration, fans, or pumping. We offer the motor rebates. Now, for those devices just mentioned, there are controllers. If you put the controllers on these motors, you reduce the speed of the motors, you save more energy, and we have rebates available.
Do you have this equipment, or do they have to buy specific equipment and then apply for the rebate?
That's an awesome question. We have a lot of partners out there who are trained in this. They'll go out to your facilities, they'll size it for you, they'll sell it to you and everything else. Hawaii Energy, you buy nothing from us. We teach you how to do this and we incentivize. We make it possible for you to afford this equipment. So it's a great deal. So now we just mentioned the pumps and the motors. Mm-hmm. Of course, we have air conditioner upgrades because everyone who has a business usually has an air conditioning. We offer upgrades for those. We do other things for those. We have refrigeration. Refrigeration units, we'll take a look at those. Yeah, if you're a bigger building like the ones you see out of these windows, they have cooling tower systems. We have a whole bunch of things that a business can do. Right now we're looking at swimming pools. So if you're a condominium, you're an AOAO, or even a hotel, there's technology today that will downsize the motor of the pool, because before you only had limited horsepower. So if you needed a 10 horsepower or a odd one like a 9, you had to buy a bigger size up. And you ran that for long hours. Now these new controllers can slow it down to the size that you need.
So we've got pumps, motors, controllers. What else can you do something about?
We also have, if you're a business and you need hot water, you can do solar water heating on businesses. One of the newest things that we're doing is sub-metering. Sub-metering is a new hot topic. The reason for that is we have a lot of strip malls. They don't know what they're using, the little stores inside. We help them put meters on them. If you're inside of a resort, those little stores, they don't have meters on them. Some of them do, not all of them. And we have a system or a method to help them afford sub-metering. Think about a condominium. You have a whole building like this. Many condos don't have sub-metering.
That's right, everybody pays into a pool, and whether you use a certain amount of electricity or not, you're paying for it, and you're maybe paying for something that you're not using.
That's exactly right, but you need the knowledge to know how well you're doing. So certain people are really good. They don't use a lot of energy, they conserve. Some people just don't know what they're using, they don't know how much it costs because they don't have a meter on it. Sub-meter allows them to learn. So if you and I were in a building, and you're really good about it, and I left my AC running all day long, my kids play
With the lanai doors open?
with the lanai doors going and the ceiling fans going, and we just have too much activities, I pay the same amount of electricity as you do, and here you are being really good and I'm just being me, yeah? I'm not being accountable to everybody else. You are helping to pay my bill.
Okay.
So we have sub-metering, call us up if you're at the
What
condominium.
else do you have?
We also have things, rebates, so what we call, this is a simple thing, which is a vending machine occupancy sensor. So you see a lot of soda machines out there, yeah? They're just lit up 24 hours. You can put this little occupancy sensor on it. It turn off the light when you're not around. It also kind of makes the motor spin a little slower. I shouldn't say, just not turn on as frequently. And all of those things save energy until you walk up. You walk up to the device or you walk into a range and the machine lights up and you know it's filled with soda and you can go ahead and purchase it. It's a great device.
Good.
But there's many, many ways that we can engage. So please call us up at Hawaii Energy.
Okay, very good. HawaiiEnergy.com. So, Derrick, what is Hawaii Energy?
Hawaii Energy is a state of Hawaii program. We are funded not by taxes, we are funded by a surcharge on Honolulu County, Maui County, and Big Island County through their electricity bills. So this is not a utility funded one, this is actually funded by the people who pay the bills, and it goes in to our product. We're actually managed and regulated by the Public Utility Commissions.
Okay, very good. Thank you.